But yeah, so
Can't move enough sitting down.
yeah.
I ran a room.
All right, now see if you can swallow it.
And we're live.
Iron Palace Podcast. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Iron Palace Podcast, the world's most anabolic podcast that tries to be so toxically masculine that it shows up on your wife's drug test.
Yeah, I love that.
I know, he sent that to me earlier, and I said, thanks for today's opening.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, Dave's coming up with some gold.
I was rolling this morning, dude. I've been so spaced out at work. I was writing
getting
Bob Dylan songs
paragraphs.
in my head.
Like, Dave will usually text me, like, here and there at work, but, like, yesterday and today, it's been paragraphs at a time. Like, we should do this, and this. I was like, I can't read this fast.
I'm locked in on everything but work, boy.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate it. I'm not complaining at all. Keep it coming. It's just, I can't read that fast enough to get through these texts, especially at work.
Corporate America can suck it.
I had to take a poop break just to get caught up on Dave's text messages today. Didn't even have to poop. Just, I had like 15.
Yeah.
Like my job entails me like working really hard for a second, driving across the room, working really hard for another second. Every drive across the room, I was just thinking about like everything in the world. Like I wrote a couple songs today. I didn't write any of them down. I wish I would have one of them because I think one of them was pretty good.
I know what I should have got you for Christmas. It's a pocket recorder.
Yeah.
Oh, you have a phone, I guess.
Yeah. That's too much work.
Because I remember when we were trying to make our opening music stuff I said, Dave, you want to help us come up with it? And you're like, yeah, I got an idea. And you come, I had a really good idea last night. And that happened like 6 times.
That's the thing. For me anyways. And I think from a lot of the people that I really like, they say the same thing. Like if you try, you're not going to do it. So like the best like songwriting, you're a poet. You understand like it's when you're not trying, like when you're laying down, not thinking about anything, or just spaced out, just sitting there, fucking not thinking about anything in the world. You sit there, and then it just kind of comes out. Yeah. I got John Lennon wrote "Nowhere Man."
Like you wake up in the middle of the night, you're like, oh, I gotta write this down.
John Lennon wrote "Nowhere Man" laying down in the bed playing a guitar. He said he's like, I was not planning on writing a song, and then just "Nowhere Man" happened. Jack White said the same thing. He's like, the secret to writing a song is to get everybody out of the room but you and God.
I wrote a song like that once.
Yeah.
Really?
No.
I was like, I'd like to hear it.
He wrote a pretty killer.
I didn't write it down.
So hum a few bars of it.
Where do you think Indian Outlaw come from?
Yeah.
He has a point. That actually makes a lot more sense. Yeah, he's right. You know, I understand that song a lot more now.
Yeah.
He lived it.
So here's my impression of Holland asking a question. Hey, I got a question.
Do I do that a lot?
Yeah, that's how you ask every question.
It works though. But did you see how you had a captive audience? It ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's why I was trying it. I wanted to see if it worked. Usually I don't get y'all's attention
Then
that
you left
quick.
us hanging.
Yeah.
I had no question.
I do. I'm
Well,
not
you got
used
to
to
redo it now. You
okay.
lost the magic of the double leg pat.
Okay, hold on. Hey, I got a question.
God, it's left first. What a rookie.
If you could replace your hands with any 2 utensils, kitchen utensils, what would you choose and why?
Chef knife, left hand.
What kind of chef knife?
Like a chef's knife.
Well, yeah, but like you talking about like a Japanese chef knife for like the Kawasaki
Ginzu.
or something?
That was like a Ginzu. Ginzu. No, like a stereotypical, pretty thick shank chef
Did you
knife.
hear that?
I don't know about the right hand. I don't know, maybe a paper towel dispenser or something.
Well, see, I was thinking about because
It's not gonna be helpful.
I was like, well, you know,
Just walk around, paper towel.
because I was thinking it'd still be handy to be able to pick something up.
Get it? Handy.
Handy.
You would get
And,
anything done with tong hands though. Just be all that. Still work.
So I was thinking about
So how you ladies do
click,
it?
click, 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 click. Yeah, that's all you do.
Never pick anything up. Just walk around.
Do you still
It was
feel
like-
hot and cold with your utensil hands? Because then I might not want a knife hand. I'm cutting something hot.
I would say you feel it as much as, I don't know.
I want tongs and a fork. Or maybe a spoon because it'd be hard to eat soup with holding your tongs.
But tongs, like, usually have at least one scoop.
But you need something to hold on to when you.
Yeah, like how do you you got another tongue on top, or you're trying to drink out of the bottom one?
That's what I'm saying. You just, one of these.
One of these with your tongue hands.
like on an airplane.
Your tongue hand.
On an airplane.
I better use my tongue.
I was on an airplane when he's like, I've got a drinking problem. He just.
Yeah.
So that's what you're going
assume
with.
the crash position.
Yeah.
He's great.
So that's what you're going with. Fork and tongs.
Tongs. Yep.
I'm gonna redo mine. I want a butter knife and a silverware drawer.
Silverware drawer.
Keep my options open.
If you have a butter knife and a silverware drawer, how do you use the silverware that's in the drawer?
With other people, like I'd be like, "Hey, will you cut that for me?" But also when I'm
I have a
asleep,
knife in here.
so like I sleep on my
When you cut
stomach.
my food, I have a knife.
Take that spoon out and feed me.
No, the small one. The small one.
I sleep on my stomach, so I got to put my arms under stuff, and that way I would have somewhere to put the butter knife at night.
But wouldn't the drawer and the pillow like leave your head too? You're like propped
I
up.
don't know. I would
What size drawer are we talking? I guess is
How heavy is that?
Yeah,
You know.
that's got to be.
That doesn't matter. I'm kind of tough.
How many? We just talked about that yesterday.
Yeah, we talked about me being kind of tough for a while yesterday.
Yep. Anyways, but yeah. So like, how big of a silverware drawer, and how many silverware are in it?
I don't know, like a silverware drawer good enough for like a family of 4. I don't know.
That's a lot of silverware.
At least 4 forks.
He's one of those silverware drawer like Snoopy's doghouse. It's infinitely deep.
Yeah, I want all the junk floating around, or like a meat thermometer. It don't work anymore.
I was about to say it never works.
Yeah.
And if it does work, you're like pretty sure it's not accurate.
A couple things from blender bottles, and
That's where you do the tongs in the drawer. You can use the tongs to pick up whatever you take.
but then what if your tongs get flipped around while you're asleep and you can't get the drawer back open the next morning?
Oh, I hate when that happens.
So the drawer has a top.
Oh yeah,
I was thinking an open top drawer.
Maybe I'm the only. I was thinking exactly like I'm thinking it's a drawer. You still got to pull out.
I'm thinking the drawer's out. It's just the drawer.
I don't know why, but I was.
So you want to go out and let everybody see your drawers every day?
This is probably the first time I've been tracking with Dave the whole
People
time.
see my drawers every day, anyways.
Praise God, we do.
Woo!
A nice little granite top, nothing fancy, just like utilitarian,
Yeah.
something you can use. It still
Nah,
looks
dude, you
nice.
got go with the Formica top. It still looks like granite, but it's not as heavy.
But you can just cut directly on granite. It doesn't.
You can cut directly on
can you?
Formica too. I do it all the time.
So you're going to use your butter knife to cut?
Formica sounds Latin. I don't trust it.
Formica?
Formica.
Oh, I thought you just said Micah. I was like, I don't know who that
I don't
is.
trust
I
Latin.
was like, I've never heard him talk. Does
only-
it sound Latin?
The only people throwing around Latin anymore touch little boys. I don't trust it.
That's a bold statement.
Yeah, no, it's not. Everybody knows Catholics do that. Not a secret.
I've already forgot what my answer was to this question.
I forgot the question.
I don't know. I became really intrigued with this silverware drawer as a hand.
What's the movie? The dude's got the chainsaw hand.
Isn't that Evil Dead?
Yeah, Ash versus Evil Dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think I ever watched
not,
it.
That's not. Yeah.
Edward Scissorhands, Johnny Depp.
Yeah, but he had multiple. We're not talking about multiple. That's cheating. You can't say I've got 5 scissors on one hand.
He also had a lady poop in his bed.
On
Have you
his pillow.
You know that would be hard to clean up with scissor hands.
I would. It'd make a huge mess.
that's
All you're
what-
really doing is shredding your pillow into it. Ugh.
Yeah. I know I don't want scissor hands.
I do know that for a fact. Be one hell of a barber, just like he was. Maybe that was the inspiration behind Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney Todd was actually based on a true story.
I believe that.
Yep.
It was about a singing barber that people they killed themselves though when he started singing.
They're like, ah!
And he just kept
grabbed
getting
the straight
accused of it.
razor.
Yeah.
So if it's based on a true story, who decided to make it like who writes a story about someone that's true and says let's make it a musical?
They're like, you know what? We've got this serial killer running around. Sounds like a great musical.
I can see them pitching the idea for the first time.
But I don't know. Like, look at Les Mis. I mean, that's a depressing story.
True.
It's a musical.
Operas just pretty much just plays that are weird musicals.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pitching the idea like, all right, so we've got a barber, kills people, dumps their body. He's the demon barber. Best part, musical.
They're singing and dancing.
The
Second
whole
best
time.
part, in a couple 100 years, I think Johnny Depp might be interested.
Who's Johnny Depp?
You'll find out.
You'll
He
know.
doesn't, he doesn't know.
Yeah.
Great movie though.
Yeah. So what's your answer? Utensil
Oh,
hands?
I was like, I don't know. There was a question in there. I didn't want to write it.
It was his
It
question,
was
wasn't it?
subtext.
Well, we've moved past it.
No, we haven't. I'm still trying to think of what color the insert is going to be in my drawer.
I just want to know.
Flip stuff.
I just want to know
100%.
what color is the silverware in your drawer.
Are you planning the rest of your kitchen around this?
Well, you have to.
Dude, you know what? If you can leave a little section open in the countertop so it's like a place to rest while you're using the butter knife hand.
Oh yeah.
So,
Saying, dude,
so
I
you
could,
got like
I
a
could totally
sheath.
make this happen.
You got like a sheath on your counter for your
Yeah, just rest right there. Sinks right into the top.
cutout. It just sits flush.
Yeah. You got a nice.
Got a tight tolerance, so you can't even see the seam.
You need the rest of the counter? You gonna make some bread? Let me help.
Make some bread.
You want to make
So far, I found the most useful utensil hand. Is all I'm saying.
You want to make a pizza, but we've got everything covered in our random crap. Go ahead.
You miss a spot with that sauce. Hold on, I'll spread it.
With my
Your butter knife. Honestly,
cheese knife.
that might be the answer. The silverware drawer, I guess.
Like,
However,
crap, I could use a fork. Hey, can you come grab this? Like, you got it. Like, if you need it, you just need a person because you've got it. You know what I mean?
I feel like I'm just going to go like the easy answer of fork and spoon. Because the last thing I need to do is slow down the food to my face.
How you gonna cut it?
You ever cut something with a spoon? If anything's a knife, if you're strong enough.
I've not cut anyone with a spoon since prison.
That made me think of is it the Kevin Costner Robin Hood? No. I think it's Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Wow.
He was
Hey,
like,
Blinken.
I know it's a Robin Hood movie.
Wow, that was.
And I know the sheriff of Nottingham says
Totally
it.
opposite sides.
Yeah.
Listen, I know the character that says it. I don't know in which movie he says it, but he was like, they're like, bring him to me. I'm gonna cut his heart out with a spoon.
No, that's the Robin Hood with Kevin Costner.
See, okay, yeah.
You just said it's men in tie.
Why? Then I thought about it a little bit. I was like, no. he
And
was right.
and they're like, why would you use? It would be hard to do with a spoon. Wouldn't you want to use a knife or something? He's like, a spoon is dull. It would hurt more. You know?
I always think
he's
of.
talking to his cousin.
Yeah.
Were they kissing cousin?
Oh, the better question is, what's Alan's answer to the silverware for hands? You've been over here listening the whole time.
Alan's like, that's question's ridiculous. I'm not answering it.
A wooden spoon and a knife. So if you're ever in any trouble, you can carve the wooden spoon into another weapon.
Alan strikes me as.
Would you just use the knife?
Nah,
Alan strikes me as the guy
wooden
that's got
spoon's longer.
got a cast iron skillet as a hand,
Mallet and a fork.
a mallet and a fork. Why a mallet?
Smash it up into.
You can beat meat with it,
You can
dude.
chew it up real easy.
Yeah.
Why not?
I can spread it, put it away.
Whoa!
Yeah, he could beat it.
Oh, just I'm gonna stop you right there. We've done pretty good at keeping this somewhat PC until right now. So, anyways, how y'all feel about squats?
They're all right.
I mean, they're a core exercise, you know.
Before we get into this, I thought of a phrase to ask Dave if he knows what it is.
Oh.
And it correlates to what I do want us to talk about here in a second.
Yeah.
Dave,
Present.
what do you think the term Valsalva maneuver is?
Oh, whoa. Oh, man.
I heard this today and I was like, 100% asking Dave.
Sounds like the kind of thing that gets you 5 to 10 is what it sounds like.
I've known this phrase for a long time, but never did I think this would be funny to ask Dave.
Yeah.
Because I don't really use it. But either way, go ahead.
Val Kilmer's niece.
No, that's different.
All I got. Oh.
That's,
Is that really, you don't have an answer? You don't have a guess?
No, what would it say it again? I don't even remember the word.
Va-
Val Venus?
Valsalva?
Yeah, Valsalva maneuver. This is a legitimate term, and it is not perverted. So,
I have no clue.
all right, well, it's the actual term for when you brace for like a squat or a deadlift where you take in a deep breath, hold it in your stomach, and brace real hard. It's called the Valsalva maneuver.
Who decided to call it that?
Probably Valsalva because it's his maneuver.
Well, Valsalva's a dickhead. Just call it friggin' bracing, dude.
That's why it's not used very often. Most everybody just calls it bracing, or as Clint likes to say, big hairy chest.
Just to be a douche, I'm gonna start calling it the bitch maneuver.
Well, then I'm not doing it.
Joke's on you, Valsalva.
I'm not bracing ever again.
Anyways, did you know what that was, Holland?
No.
Really?
I did not.
I actually thought about that earlier. I almost text you to say, "Do you know what this is?"
Yeah.
This is what it is. So whenever we had, but then I was like, maybe he does. I don't.
Yeah.
This equate creatine tends to not dissolve into solution.
I'm gonna bleep that out because we don't use any creatine.
No, it sucks. You can leave that in. I'm openly saying I've just had it for a while. I'm not gonna let it go to waste, but it's terrible.
I will say
It doesn't dissolve as good as Nutrifits.
It doesn't dissolve at all. So yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all this is the Dave move right here. Dave will buy a supplement, pre-workout creatine, either one, forget he has it, or two, not use it. But either way, it'll go months past expiration. And then Dave is a cheapskate, so he will keep using it. The first time, there's like whenever I first met Dave, we started hanging out at work, and I told him I'm gonna go to the gym. He goes, "Oh, I've got some pump fuel. You want some pre-workout?" I was like, "Dude, I love pump fuel. Great pre-workout." He brings it to me. He goes, "All right, it's pretty clumped up, so you might have to break you a chunk off." And I'm thinking, okay, like if it don't clump, it don't pump. All pre-workouts got some clumps in it. No, dog, I'm talking boulders in here, and that's all it is. It's literally like chicken nugget sized clumps.
That's the smallest size.
And that's it. Like you're talking a jug this big. All that's got is like things this. And there's no free powder, nothing to scoop. It is just purple chunk. And I was like,
Fake news. He's cherry picking the data. All right, look.
It's like a pop stopper. You just throw it in your mouth and let it dissolve.
that's about what it was. He said, if you just put it on a paper towel or something and crush it up, it turns into powder. I was like, what the hell?
I'd only had that pre-workout for about a week.
Did you find it somewhere?
I was at Dad's.
In a way, yes.
And I was like, I'm about to go to the gym. Shit, I ain't got no pre-workout. And Dad, like, he got some, but then he didn't like it. So he just never used it. He's like, well, I got some up there. It's probably pretty old. You can have it. Like, oh, cool. Pump you. I tried it. I was like, I like this stuff pretty good. I don't care if it's clumped up.
They're not a sponsor, but if you're not going to use Nutrifit, use Pump Fuel. They're pretty good.
Try to help my guy out, and all I did was complain.
I mean, it still worked. I'm not saying
that's a Caleb move. If I
Oh,
ever heard
God.
one.
I'm not saying it didn't work. It still worked really well, but it was just like because me and Dave had been talking for a few days before this about working out.
Yeah.
And so then like Dave portrays not to know anything. Dave's not an idiot. He does know some about working out. Either way. Anyways, so I'm thinking, okay, Dave wouldn't let me down on this pre-workout, and he hands me, and I went, thanks, man. I took it, started shoving it in the water bottle. It worked great. I had a good workout, but still, it was.
My current pump fuel has 0 clumps.
So you forget about it, and then you go to use it in 6 months.
Joke's on you. I didn't use it for like 2 months, and it's still not clumped. So I kept it in a dry place.
So got me.
It's actually back into rotation, and it's still not clumped.
Keep the oxygen absorber in it.
No. I also don't like to use pre-workout a whole lot.
I have switched to a non-stim for a little bit to take a break from the heavy doses because I was getting headaches on days that I didn't use it.
So mine's not even the stem. It's just I don't know if there's an ingredient in there. It's got to be. That's just bitter naturally because all pre-workout is so freaking sweet. And they always make me feel like I've ate a little bit too much candy or something. Like I can drink my pre-workout and be okay, but I've got to wait probably an hour or so before I work out or I'll feel sick. But if I wait a little while, it wears out. Then I've just got the good side effects and I'm golden. But for a while, I'm
I will say Pump Fuel, that was their downside. Is like the scoops on that are like
and they don't bother me
monsters.
as bad.
Like they taste great, but it's like, I mean, you're talking scoop this round like this tall.
It's got a little bit more creatine in it though than most of them
Yeah.
do too. So I think you're getting like
I think
2.5 grams.
I think
per
they
scoop.
put some more carbs in there too.
Yeah, it's got a lot more of the other shit. in
Yeah,
it.
it's I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying
You pay a little bit more for it, but then you
it is
buy
expensive.
less of the others.
It's like twice the price of Nutrifit, so keep that in mind when you're buying it.
It's like $60 for a tub.
I bought it for $80,
I've been getting it for 60.
but that's whenever it first came out though. But either way, back to what I originally was talking about is Holland actually sent us a video about squats. Well, you didn't get it because you're not on Messenger anymore,
Praise God.
which I guess it really wouldn't matter anyways. But did you watch it?
That
Alan?
hurts. That was hurtful.
Sorry, David.
Sorry, Dave. Any hooser, what's her? So me and Holland talked about it some yesterday. The one thing that I took away from it and that we talked about yesterday a little was they mentioned, I don't even remember the name of the video or who did it at this point, but it's irrelevant, is they mentioned squats for lower back.
Yeah.
Like purposely.
Yeah.
Not like, okay, you hit it on accident because you can't help it, which you do, but I would never say I'm doing squats
For lower
back.
Yeah, I mean it's almost like the saying, any workout is a lower back workout if you do it wrong enough.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's exactly it.
And that's what it felt like there. I was like, no, you shouldn't be encouraging lower back in squats.
And that's what confused me also is whenever he, like, for the first half of the video, before he talked about the lower back thing, everyone's squatting, like all of his people he's training are squatting perfect.
Yeah.
But then suddenly he starts talking about lower back
And they're squatting face to the floor.
And dude is like parallel to the floor.
Yeah,
I was
they're like doing good mornings.
Yeah, it's because he said, what was the one thing he said that I really disagreed with was he said, which the first part of it I agreed with. The second part, no, I didn't. He said, the people tell you to keep your head up all the time. He said, what's up there? Your legs are down here. You don't need to look up there.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
Right.
But in doing so, a lot of people, if you keep your head neutral or slightly down, people tend to nosedive like that guy's doing in the video.
Yeah.
And so you're going to end up flat. Now you're having to do a stand up and then a good morning up. My tip that I always tell people is just find a spot like about a foot above your head, anywhere in front of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just stare at that because now your chest is going to follow your head.
Yeah.
And because that's what the guy said too, is like a lot of times you're going to lead with your chest. I was like, when do you not want to lead with your chest?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, and it's funny too because it was like 5 squat myths or whatever, and like the first 4,
bad.
Pretty solid information. Except I didn't agree with he was talking about like he was stressing squat shoes, like you have to have squat shoes.
I disagreed with that too.
And you don't have to have squat shoes.
No.
I mean squat shoes help.
And that's what
If you have to have special shoes and it's not built for the human body to perform.
well, I liked the point that he made of a squat is a squat. He's like, if I play LeBron James in basketball, he's going to beat me whether he's wearing basketball shoes or barefoot. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But he said, then he went on to say everybody needs to have squat shoes. I was like, also, like you said yesterday, that he's got that Chuck Taylors are squishy.
Yeah.
There's your mom.
I disagree that Chuck Taylors are squishy.
Yeah. I mean they're a flat rubber sole. There's
Yeah.
no added cushioning in it. You know,
It's
like
something that's not going to shift on you. While you're
right. Yeah.
I agreed with his part where he did say in there, don't squat barefoot.
Yeah.
Especially in socks, especially nowadays where a lot of people are getting platforms.
What about the hospital socks? It's got the little beads on them.
No, that's an exception.
Grippy socks will work, yeah.
That's fine. But because I've seen way too many videos, especially on like people get their fancy, platforms that are hardwood.
Yeah, and they're polyurethane. And
You are asking to get hurt then.
Yeah.
So 100% agree. Don't deadlift in socks. I mean, you can, but if you do, please be careful.
World's Strongest, I think it was World's Strongest Man. It could have been the Arnold. I can't remember. It was several years ago. Half Thor was going for, it wasn't the world record deadlift, but he was going to break 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just in socks. He starts deadlifting. The bar's moving pretty good. Gets almost to his knees, and his foot slips out. And now, of course, he had the presence of mind to immediately drop the bar before he hurt it, But I was like, man, that is a great way to blow a knee.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and
Especially, I think that's where I made the switch from thinking hitching a deadlift is okay. Like, I still do it every now and then. Like, if I'm going for a hard PR at some point and I just really want it that bad, then yeah. But as a primary, people that deadlift week after week and all they're doing is hitching, please stop.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have that day where you're hitching really hard and the weight is right here and you go to drop it and you've just hooked your knee pretty hard.
Yeah.
Especially if you've got a heavy neural bar. Mm-hmm. Not only are you going to rake it and it's going to hurt really bad, but you're going to blow your knee out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, every once in a while to like that to grind out a new PR or something, whatever. But if you make a habit of hitching on, I mean, you practice good form.
Yep.
I mean, it's good form is going to be more beneficial in the long run than having to use poor form to get to just to go heavier, especially early on.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, it kills me. I've seen a lot of people doing deadlifts specifically, and they're just hitching like crazy on like every heavy set.
Yeah, there's a guy that I follow on Facebook, or I'm friends with him, or whatever it is. I won't say his name because that just seems rude.
Yeah.
I don't really care to put his name out there. But either way, like, whenever he was training hard, I don't think he trains anymore. Whenever he was training really hard, like, he's lifting weights that's, like, he's claiming to be a strong man, which is cool. But he weighs, like, 400 pounds. He's deadlifting 400 and hitching every single rep.
Yeah.
And then bragging about it. And I was like,
yeah.
If that's your workout every single week, day in and day out, that you're doing that, like, you're making no progress.
Yeah. I mean, if you're cheating every rep,
That's not doing anything.
yeah,
Like when I'm deadlifting for like to work out, and if I'm not going for like a PR or something, I stop pretty well short of my top just to like, and I'll go extra just because I'm like, I'd rather my form be good,
Yeah.
and still get a good workout than to say that I lifted more than I did just this last time.
Yeah,
one
that's
time.
I mean, think about how many times you've worked out with me in Holland, and how many times have you seen us hitch a deadlift? It's not very often.
no.
Like, I know I've hitched one in front of you before, but like, to my knowledge, I've only done it once, and that was just because I really wanted 615.
Yeah, the only time I'll do it, like the contest, when I was like, all right, I got to pull this, or it's like or like before the contest, like okay, I just want to find my number, got to hit the max.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I would just rather do it smooth and not hurt myself. And
that's where I would deem it 100% okay. If you're in competition, it's obviously strongman only.
Yeah.
But
But
if
powerlifting doesn't allow it.
Right. So if you're in competition, all bets are off.
Yeah. Whatever it takes to get the
Yeah.
weight.
If you're, I mean, without killing yourself, but yeah, like,
I don't know. It depends on how bad you want it.
Holland.
I mean, it's true. What?
Keep podcasting. Ask Holland to rate me.
Rate.
Oh, he said read me. I was like, what?
I looked at rape.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's why I stressed the T on that.
Big Nirvana fan.
Dude, that was solid, man.
Smooth. That was the one I
Yeah.
was telling you about that I did just to be a little shit.
Yeah. Going back to like Dave acts like whatever, with lifting. That's the day he was the strongest guy in the gym.
Or at least on the deadlift platforms that day. You're gonna have to hit play.
Thought you already hit play.
No, it's just like 10 seconds, so I didn't want to.
Ah.
Hey,
Hey.
You too?
hey, we've all been there.
But the same way with the squat, when you get leaned forward too much, sometimes if you're going for, if you're going to failure or whatever, form sometimes may break down,
Yeah.
And okay, if that's what you're doing in a competition, if you go ahead and grind that out, but that should not be the way you squat every
No.
rep.
No, that's why, to throw Kyle under the bus yet again, like we do every week, that's what I try to tell him all the time, and he's not getting it. Like, he'll squat so heavy that his knees cave in.
Yeah.
Every week.
Yeah, and I mean, like, he should. I was telling him, I was like, you should work on making sure your knees stay out.
Yeah. I've told him that countless times.
I mean, and I've seen it. I've seen his knees cave. On 300 pounds. He's a 400+ pound squatter. Your knees shouldn't be caving.
No. Which I will say, and if this is you, please, for the love of God, stop doing it. And Kyle, I'm speaking to you.
Stop it.
I'd asked him one day, I said, hey, your knees are caving. You need to be careful. I would lower the weight, make sure you're hitting reps without your knees caving, or point your toes out so your knees are,
Yeah.
or you're hoping your hips up so that your knees are more in line. They're not going to cave as easy. And his response was, they're supposed to cave in. It gets under me so I can lift heavier. I'm like, that's not how that works, dog.
No.
Like, your body's supposed to work for you mechanically, not work against you with whatever that is.
Yeah.
So you've got to use your knees and levers as they're intended.
Yep.
They're supposed to bend this way, not this way.
I mean, if that's the case, then he should narrow stance squat.
Well, that's what I was trying to tell him. Is you either need to turn your feet out or you need to narrow squat.
Yeah.
He won't do either.
But
So if that's you, quit it before you bust your knee out, and you're going to have knee surgery before you're 30.
yeah, and that's part. In that video, it was talking about like one of the myths was squats are bad for your knees.
They are if you squat that way.
Yeah, if you squat incorrectly, they're bad for your knees.
100%.
If you squat correctly, they're good for your knees.
Yep.
I mean, they strengthen all the muscles around them.
Actually, whenever I was in the military, I had bad knees just because, I mean, I was a scrawny little thing. And then once I started weight training and getting bigger, I don't have knee problems anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I have days where if I've squatted too much, my knees kind of ache. But that's just from squatting a lot.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they're Mark Bell, you know, one of his things he's got to say is like, strength is never a weakness, you know, like it isn't. Like, if you've got a joint that hurts, if you strengthen all the muscles around that joint, it's going to help that joint.
That's actually what they do in physical therapy. That's why they do the weird exercises they do, and they will tell you is they're trying to strengthen everything around that part. Like if you tear, I don't know, let's say you tear your bicep. If you strengthen everything around it, it's going to pull stress off of your bicep whenever it's healed. So now you're not having to use your bicep as much for things that aren't usually required your bicep to do. So that's also what part of that video that I did like is wherever he said a lot of people realize it later rather than sooner that strength is key. So everybody wants to be a bodybuilder.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because he brought up like old people, you know, falling and not being able to get up because, well, it's not a mobility thing; it's a strength thing.
Yeah, you're not strong enough to do it.
Yeah, and I mean, and you know that goes back to, you know, remember I was talking about like when was the last time that you sprinted as hard as you could, or tried to jump as high as you could? You know, you quit doing stuff and you lose it.
Yeah.
I'm like a
And
6-year-old. I never have stopped doing those things.
Right.
I do it once a day, both of those. Jump as high as I can, run as fast as I can, at least once.
and that's why you're so fast.
I can't see
agile.
a door frame that's just out of reach without jumping.
Not
and trying.
trying.
To hit it. Yeah.
I think that's why God made me so tall so that I can still touch those and not have to jump.
I have to jump.
I can't jump off one foot. I'm not coordinated enough for some reason. Like, you know, like most people when they dunk, they come off one foot. I can't do it. So I just pretty much flat hop. Like
Flat hop?
If I'm running towards the basketball rim like a layup or something, I jump up, I might as well just stop because I'm just jumping off both feet.
So,
I can't jump any faster with a run than I can just flat hop.
So there's a question. I need people to answer me this in the comments if this is legit or not. Since Dave said we should have more calls to action. Yes. Answer in the comments, because my wife does this thing, what she used to be a cheerleader, is so like the few times that we've messed around, like I've had to like pick her up for stuff, she says she has to double bounce.
Yeah.
Not I'll
So
say
like come
just,
up on her toes and then drop down.
Yeah, it's like literally like she has to like kind of do a small jump, come down, and then go into another jump. I'm like, and every time she'll do it, like, I have to double bounce. I'm like, no, you don't. Just jump. I will pick you up the rest of the way. She's like, I can't.
It's muscle memory at that point.
Yeah. So let me know. Is this legit or is this just my wife
Sounds
being
like
weird?
fake news.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's probably just muscle memory at that point, where like that's so ingrained every time. Because every time a cheerleader jumps, they do that.
Yep.
You know,
I don't beat the heck out of me,
Could
but
be getting the person that's helping them ready for that jump too.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be just.
well, she don't weigh much. I was pretty ready for it.
Yeah, I'm sure the setting, it's like a.
but
it's like
see,
a rhythm thing. Yeah,
but when she was a cheerleader, it was another girl picking her up.
Fair enough. Yeah.
You know,
or Clint.
not so,
Hey, congratulations, Clint, if you're
Congrats,
listening.
buddy.
yeah,
You dirty old dog.
He kind of slid that in there.
yeah. Didn't tell anybody.
Didn't tell nobody. I finally texted him this week. I was like, did I see you got engaged? He goes, yeah, dude.
Bachelor party's gonna be lit.
Better be.
We're bringing the thrones.
Bachelor party at Buffville.
Ooh.
Buffville bachelor party.
I like it.
If we're invited to the bachelor party at Buffville, we'll break the world record. Or at least try again. But
I hate the only time that we broke it. It couldn't be official because we didn't have enough refs there.
I know. Like, well,
we still broke the national record though.
that's fine. I mean, we probably could have broke the world record that the Hack and Denny.
Yeah.
But after pulling 800 on the Denny Stones, like I was done. I could hardly stand up anymore. After standing up really hard that one time, I was done after that.
Yeah. Hey, standing up hard is hard.
Yeah. You want to see?
I don't like how you're holding the sword while you said that.
You have no idea.
Sorry, Linda.
Oh man.
Side note, I used one of our products for the first time and it helped. The mouthpiece.
Oh, I was like, what?
I got me a cool Spider-Man mouthpiece I use deadlift, and like I don't know all the science jargon, if that's true. Sure it is. They wouldn't lie to me. Would you?
Well,
but I just know that I was thinking about it because my middle issues
Go ahead.
make it to where like super. I've got a gag reflex like nobody's business. Like
he does.
anything.
Can attest.
Dude, yeah.
So the mouthpiece really messes with me. Like, I do not like it.
Yeah.
And like one part goes behind your teeth, and I feel like it's under my tongue, which makes me want to throw up.
Yeah.
So I'm focusing on don't puke. Push your tongue against it so it's not under it. And I don't
you
even think
are.
about the weight. And it's working great.
Yeah.
It does work great.
When I when I was playing football, I had the same problem, and I'd have to cut the backs of my mouthpiece out.
Yeah.
So I just had it on the front, just the front teeth,
Little grill.
because it would.
Paul Wall over here.
The mouthpieces gag me so much, and high school football, they they'll throw a flag if they catch you that amount, So you've got to have something that at least looks like you have a full mouthpiece in.
Isaiah's will be just the piece right in front of the strap.
Yeah.
Down in the season, he'd chew the rest of it off.
Good God, what is he, a rat?
He would just have enough to hold in his teeth right there.
Yeah. Mine was about like that, but it was just because it would gag me if I had
I've had braces twice. I've had a lot of mouth surgery and stuff.
Yeah.
So I've had countless molds done. And the first few times, have you ever had a mold of your teeth done? If the mouthpiece messes with you, you won't make it, dog. Like this thing.
Back of your throat.
Yeah.
With that crap.
Dude, it's bad. It's it's plaster.
Yeah.
And so, but they have this thing that is, so it's shaped like your teeth, but it also goes back up halfway back the roof of your mouth. So whenever they press it up in there, all that stuff just squishes dude, it's bad.
That makes me want to gag thinking about it.
Dude, it is terrible. And this woman, only one time has this happened, and it did not help. But she said, "Hey, I've got this spray. It's supposed to numb the back of your throat." For one, where did that come from?
Where'd you get it? How much is it?
But
Is it prescription only?
all I can tell you is it tasted like cherry. But
And my lips, my lips never look more
I
plump.
don't know. I don't know where it came from. I can tell you it didn't help. I still about threw up.
Hey, she's married to the person that taught Shelly the cat pose.
But anyways, I think that should be a podcast trip to watch both of y'all get molds done in your teeth, because I think it'd be hilarious.
Oh, man.
I don't do well with medical stuff in general. I would do terrible with that. And again, we've discussed it many
You
times.
would throw up and pass out.
Oh yeah. You just have to act like you're touching me with a needle. Out cold.
I used to
It's
do,
like a fainting goat.
Yeah.
I used
You
to-
got tattoos all over you.
that's
It's
different.
different.
It's way different,
Yeah.
dog.
It's something about that one singular needle. It's like a legit phobia because I don't even stress about it. I just know it's going to happen. I just go to the doctor going, all right, I know it's going to happen. So when I go to the nurse's station when I'm at the ER or something, I'll get comfortable in the chair and be like, look, don't stop, please, because I hate that I'm here already. I'm going to pass out. I'll be okay.
Go ahead and give me the shot.
I'll go ahead and get comfortable. And the whole time they're doing it, even they put that little rubber thing in your hand for the IV.
Oh, dude.
Anytime that I would forget it was there and I'd be okay. They would touch it.
None of that stuff bothers me at all.
I had a mole.
I've
remove
never
my
passed
face.
out with it, but no, I don't do them at all.
I had a little mole thing removed my face, and that whole time I was getting agitated because I told them I was like, I'm going to be in and out of consciousness. I'm okay. The nurse kept, you okay? I'm like, lady, I'm fine. Just please quit stopping.
Yeah.
Are you okay? I'm fine. Please quit stopping. I don't want to be here.
Not the first time he said that either.
Rough, dude.
But like giving
Not the
blood,
first time for that either.
like when you give blood or whatever, it's a big, that needle's a big needle, because your blood has to flow through it.
I don't give blood, so I don't.
Oh,
Me either.
and they're like, and it's funny
I
'cause
prefer to keep all that in here.
they'll be like, it helps if you don't watch. I'm like, it doesn't bother me to watch, I can watch them stick it in, roll it around, find a vein,
Sheesh. It's getting warm in here.
The speed that Dave looked at me, it just
It's funny too, because I was looking at my arm and I just saw it out of my periphery, and I knew what was coming. Hey. But yeah, so back to squats.
sorry, Linda. Dave said it.
I had just moved out on my own, not been gone long from home. It was real sick. I don't really get sick often. I was throwing up blood and all kinds of stuff. Mom comes over. She's like, "You're going to the doctor." I don't go to the doctor for anything. She's like, "You're going to the doctor. Come with me. We're going." We went. And they were going to give me a shot for nausea. And the lady was like, "We got to give it to you in your hip, so you got to stand up." And I was like, "I don't know if that's a good idea." She's like, "You'll be fine. You're a big guy." I was like, "I don't know." My mom was like, "Nah, he's not going to be all right." She's like, "He'll be fine." So I stood up. They had me stand up on the stair thing that comes out of the bed, right?
Yeah.
This nurse, tiny little lady. I get a shot in the hip. Next thing I know, I wake up on my mom's shoulder. Mom came over and called me. I was out.
That's like every time I go in for, or if they have to take blood for anything, for any kind of labs or whatever, they come in and she goes, which arm is better? I was like, "What's the smallest needle you have?" Why? I was like, "Because you're going to need it." Like, it's fine. I'm good at this. I don't doubt it. What's your smallest needle? And she's like, "Well, which arm is better?" I was like, "Neither one. You pick." And every time they'll go. And then we do that for about 10 minutes. And then they usually miss at least once. They're like, "Man, they're in there." Like, I don't know what happens. I don't know if they just like retract when they know y'all are coming at me. I don't know. But it happens every single time. So they always have to use the little butterfly that are like butterfly needles that are made for like children.
Yeah.
That's what they have to use every single time. This one woman, she found it with her finger and she goes, "Oh, yeah, there's a good one." Turned around, came back. She goes, "Where'd it go?" I was like, I literally told you. So then she found it again and then left her finger there until she got everything ready. Yeah. Then she's like, "I guess that's a trick. You just got to make sure it stays there." I was like, "Can we just get this over with?"
I got a cortisone shot in my elbow one time, and so they've got to slide it in between the joint. Mm-hmm. Well, so they put the needle in. They don't get it in between the joint. It crams up against. They're like, "Oh, that's bone." I'm like, "Yeah, I can tell." Like,
"Oh, is it? I didn't know."
Who's mine?
Like 15 or 20. Like, finally, they're like, "Let me get somebody else." And so then somebody else goes and they're trying, and they, dude, it was like 10 minutes of getting poked in straight into the bone with a needle before they finally got it where it needed to be.
They wouldn't have got a second chance with me. If you could die from a hurt elbow, I would have died from it.
From hurt elbow.
Yeah, I'm like, nah, we're not doing that again. Sorry.
My and I really think that was one of the things that tore that ligament.
The cortisone shot?
No,
or just them poking your elbow.
The injury, the injury that required the cortisone shot. I think that was one of the times that it tore.
Golfer's elbow?
No,
Worm
elbow.
wrestlers.
Oh,
Worm wrestler's elbow.
I was shoeing a horse, and
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, I was picking up its back leg, and I had my, you reach across its back leg, and you've got a hold of its foot.
Got to say it round, and he thought better of it.
And I knew exactly what was going to happen.
Thought better of it.
Yeah. And it jerked its leg up real fast, and my arm was stuck in between its cannon bone and its upper leg bone there, and it hyperextended my elbow pretty bad, and it popped real loud, and I had
went curled that day.
I had a Highland Games that weekend, and my arm was killing me. So I went and I was like, "Hey, I want something." I was like, "I don't care." I was like, "I'm not trying to fix this problem. I'm just trying to compete in 3 days." And they're like, "We can give you a cortisone shot." I was like, "Give me a cortisone shot." I was like, "I got to compete Saturday,"
Yep.
And so.
That was like whenever we had that Highlander at KO's, and I have to use certain deodorant. I'm allergic to a lot of deodorant, so I will break out bad. And I tried a new deodorant for whatever reason, I don't know. And I broke out from my elbow down to my hip, just my whole sides.
Yeah.
So I went in it was that week. I was like, I got 5 days before I've got to be in Kentucky. Yeah. And so I went to the doctor, and they were like, "Well, what can we do?" I was like, "Fix it. Yeah, I got to do something.
Clear this up."
And she goes, "Okay, well, we can give you a shot of steroids." Is that going to get you disqualified? I was like, "Is it anabolic?" Yeah. She said, "No." I was like, "Can it be?"
Yeah. This is a Highland game. Everything's allowed.
Nobody can. Actually, at that game, was whenever KO said, "I don't care how much gear Holland's on, as long as we show up." I was like, well, I wish I would have known that.
Well, Hall left out of his story is he finished shooting that horse with a 30-06.
That horse looked like on
Horse never hurt
Kingpin.
anybody else's arm.
Yeah.
looked like on Kingpin where he shoot the horse, comes out holding all the hooves.
He woke up with that horse the same way that one dude woke up with a horse in Godfather.
All right.
That was part one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So squats.
Yeah. Necessary. I mean, and the thing about it, if you think about it, every discipline or whatever, powerlifting, strongman, CrossFit,
Everyday life.
yeah,
Yeah.
you squat. You know, it's a core lift. You know, it's a. I mean, if you're trying to get big, it's the best mass builder, overall mass builder that there is. It's probably the best overall
Ass builder.
It's also true.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's one of the best overall exercises that you can do, and people are afraid of it unnecessarily, you know. But I think it's too because you see a lot of bad form, you know.
Yeah. I know, like, whenever I first got into lifting, I was terrified of deadlifts for that same reason.
Yeah.
That's all you hear is horror stories about it, is like people get hurt doing it or people throw their back out. Like,
Yeah,
especially when you're first starting to get into it and you don't have many friends in powerlifting or anything, you don't know no better.
yeah. I have never hurt my back deadlifting. I've heard it doing a lot of other stuff, but never deadlifting.
I didn't deadlift or squat until I started hanging out with Caleb because I was like, I'm getting by with what I want to do right now, and I don't want to risk hurting myself because I don't know what I'm doing. So I just
I will say,
now that I'm doing it, I do it every time. Like I deadlift, squat, all that crap. But for a while, I did.
Dave will never lie to you on stuff he doesn't know anything about or how bad he is at something.
Yeah,
And what I mean is, whenever the first time we went to the gym, I was like, all right, I got squats today. He goes, all right, I've never squatted. Can you help me? He's like, yeah. He goes, I'm really bad at them. I was like, you know, I've seen bad. It's fine. I can help you with your squat. No problem.
yeah.
Never have I ever seen someone squat so bad that it was like, you would have thought he couldn't sit on a chair.
I couldn't do it. So, but the thing was, I'd never done it.
You're like, how do you sit down?
I literally
tried.
did.
I'd tried for like one rep a couple times with different people, and all it was completely different advice, all bro science stuff, and it was like so many different mechanics. I was like, that's such an unnatural motion.
Yeah.
And then once I got all that crap out of my head, thanks to his help, I was like, oh no, I do this. This is it feels like it should.
Yeah, this is a natural
Yeah.
movement.
It
yeah.
took-
Then it was
It was a little bit less than an hour, but we got it. But man,
Yeah.
like we got up there and he goes to, like,
like I couldn't get below like where my waist is.
Yeah,
Like, my
I
waist
think-
wasn't moving because like
I
everybody was
didn't
so focused, like keeping your back straight and all that shit that I was like I just wasn't folding.
yeah,
Yeah.
Well, like we were saying, because he wasn't bending at the waist.
Yeah.
Like, he's just standing upright and trying to like squat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I told him, I don't want you to use a barbell. I want to make sure that you know what you're doing first, but pretend you have one. So put your arms up like you've got one, and then do a squat. And man, dude, like you talk about 90-degree angle.
Yeah.
Like he's coming down just straight upright, and then he just fall backwards.
Yeah, and the only time you can do that is in a Smith machine, and
Right.
that's a thing. Another thing that I think messes people up is a Smith machine squat,
Yep.
and then try to carry that over
You
to
have
just
to
a regular barbell squat.
Completely different exercise. Has its pluses, has its downsides, has its uses, has its hindrances.
Yeah,
So when used the correct way, like if you're going to use it, I usually like to say like Sam Sulek. I think he does a great job for using it for that, like close stance, quad focused. Because now you're not worried about falling over. You can truly load your quads
yeah,
Like a hack squat.
like a hack squat.
yeah,
But if you're just trying to do a normal squat,
yeah. Same with bench press,
Right.
You know, completely different lifts,
yep.
but yeah, at the Courtney at the gas station the other day, she was like, she was saying that she listened to the podcast, and it was about well, one of the things she was like, yeah, you guys were making fun of sumo deadlift. I was like, you're gonna have to narrow that down, 'cause-
Yeah.
That's daily.
but it was talking about we were talking about what the just average person should lift, you know, and we were talking about with squats, an untrained, well, like bench press, a man should be able to bench whatever, and a woman should be able to bench whatever. But then when we got to squats, the numbers were really close, or a lot closer. And she was like, "Do you think that maybe it's because, and this may be controversial, because this is implying that there's differences between females and males.
Pelvic shape, is that where you're going?
Well, because they're designed for childbirth.
Yeah.
And it changes the angles of and all that.
I mean, it's also just proven that women have a better center of balance than men.
Yeah, well, yeah, most women's body weight is distributed differently than men's.
I agree.
And it's usually distributed lower, which that's perfect for squats, But yeah, I was like, hey, not only was she listening, but she brought up a pretty interesting point, and I was like, yes. So now we've got like 4 confirmed listeners.
Heck yeah.
We're getting up there.
Yeah.
Tune in next week to see what other questions Courtney had.
Stop by the gas station and ask her.
Yeah.
Questions with Courtney. It's a new segment.
I may do that every morning and be like, all right, you got a question?
Yeah.
We need one for this week.
Yeah. Believe me, we are scraping the bottom of the barrel for content. So Caleb has really been slacking lately.
How are you doing today? Good one. I'm going to save it for the podcast.
Yeah.
Hey, don't talk anymore. Save it.
We got to put that lightning in that bottle.
But yeah.
You know what else has lightning in a bottle?
What?
NutriFit.
Oh, I was going to say.
Well, I guess
Zone
don't even throw that over here again. Don't.
He's deadly accurate.
Why do you keep looking at it?
Do it.
Do it. Golly. Oh, no compliment on catching that one.
That was a lob.
In the dark. I'm basically looking at the sun here.
I was hoping he'd hum it again.
Hey. So NutriFit.
I don't care anymore.
Read the nutritional facts.
Okay. Supplement facts. Serving size, 5 capsules. Servings per container, 30. I'm just kidding. We're not going to do that. Regenesis, bloodless pump caps, just 2 of the greatest supplements known to man. And they just so happen to be...
And some women.
Yeah. Just so happen to be sold at NutriFit. And we just so happen to have a discount code.
Hot dog.
I know. So use code CalebCDay at checkout. Get you some of the greatest supplements around. They look sick. I don't know if you... Hold on, let me do the thing.
Yeah.
They look dope. They work great. Can't ask for anything more than that. So go get you some.
I mean, and really, can you think of a better name than Bloodlust Pump Caps?
In context, yes. I agree with you.
Their creatine is really good.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Dissolves in water.
It actually just dissolves, period. It's great. It's just gone.
Hey,
You just take a handful of it, throw it up, and walk through it.
do you remember what the C in Caleb C Day stands for?
Wow.
No.
Wow.
Courtney.
Well, we only say it all the time, actually.
Yeah.
What's
Condoleezza.
what do we say about sumo deadlift?
It's
Can't do it.
it's we say it's unchristian.
My name's Chris.
Communist. Oh. It was going to be my next.
Caleb Communist Day.
It used to be that. I changed it. Yeah. My mom said it was very different.
Gulf of America.
I just saw that. All right. So, any who's or what's her?
Somebody said that he said he was willing to use force for Greenland. It would have taught to be alive.
So, anyways, what else has lightning in a bottle?
Oh, zone smelling salts. And that's almost not a metaphor. It's almost literal.
It is almost literal. That lightning will go straight from the can to your brain and then your left eye and then back out your nostril.
Yep.
The other one.
And
Your third one.
And then you'll hit a PR.
Every time.
Or time.
But yeah, go to Zone Smelling Salts. They have different levels of intensity. I say go ahead and get the highest intensity one.
Yeah, you can start low if you want. No one's ragging you, but you can always just be like what we did to Dave and send him straight to the top.
Yeah. And
or the floor.
Yeah,
I was everywhere.
he was.
He was everywhere and nowhere all at the same time.
He was.
I was in retrograde.
Yeah, if he had been deadlifting, he'd have deadlifted like 1,000 pounds right then.
I was in retro.
He pushed Mercury out of the way.
Yeah. He said, "Nah, dog, it's my turn.
It's my turn to hot dog.
I need this more than you right now."
But yeah, different discount code with them. It is TIPP.
Yep.
The Iron Palace Podcast. If you didn't make that connection,
What's the middle P stand for?
The middle P?
The middle P.
Yeah. There's 2 P's on the end. There's a middle P.
Palace.
Okay. Good. I'm just making sure you remembered. Making sure I wasn't the only one getting quizzed around here today.
How is it the middle P though?
Well, it's
It's between the first and last letter. There's another letter after the first one, but they're both middle letters. Buddy. There's an I. There's a
Buddy.
P there.
listen here, buddy.
Like, do you say that your lettuce isn't on your sandwich with your meat?
I don't know that I ever say that, honestly.
Yeah,
Then those are both middle letters, dog.
Yeah,
They're
you-
both parts of that sandwich, and they're both not the bread.
That was the best explanation I think I've ever heard.
the middle P is the lettuce.
Yeah.
You know what? I have been surmised.
I'm glad you didn't have a quandary.
I'm trying to think of the word he was using last time you beat me to it.
I heard the word surmise today, and I had a real quandary about it. So I was like, you know what? There's the word for today. It's become a thing that I don't think he knows about, but if he's listening, he'll know about it.
Yeah,
Did that make you surmise your life about right there?
I love it. It's sure cleared up a few quandaries I had.
But it won't clear them up. It'll stop them dead in their tracks.
Yeah, so to reiterate, Zone Smelling Salts, code TIPP. Get some now.
Get some now.
Now, like right now.
Right now. Go. Stop listening here. Go get you some. Come back. Smell them with Holland. Finish
Yeah.
the episode.
Then tell us, comment how much you like it.
Yep.
Wasn't that
We'll
what
wait.
you ordered in the middle of a show?
Yeah.
He did order. Yeah. What else we got? Hossware.
Yes.
Why did you do that?
I'm always ready, dude. So you know,
He's practicing
Yeah.
he's practicing his moves.
Practicing what you're going to do to get to the checkout line with Hossware, huh?
Yeah. Hossware, a couple guys make it's just their company, they're fairly local in North Carolina. And
local adjacent.
yeah, local adjacent. I mean, they're still in the southeast, so I call them local.
Yeah.
If you're below Kentucky, you're all right with me.
Yeah.
All right with me, all right with God. That's all that matters.
Yep. They both pull conventional,
Well, that's it right
you
there.
know. But yeah, they make gear,
Tell me more.
not that gear,
Oh,
clothing.
about busting that in my own musical.
So you busted a nut in your own musical? I swear that's what you just said.
I thought you said.
I,
You said I
I was
busted up my musical.
I looked up like Caleb. I was like,
I'm cutting all this out now because Linda does not need to hear
Yeah,
this out
you
either.
tied the whole podcast together though. We're talking musicals, busting nuts, like it was.
I was like,
Said busted out.
That's not what I heard.
I'm cutting all this out.
You definitely said bust a nut in a musical, dude. You
I'm going to listen to this back and I'm going
didn't
to
even
get to the
say
bottom
it. You
of it.
said bust a nut in a musical.
What can I say?
oh man. Okay, so we'll start from the top. Hossware, a couple guys,
Zone smelling salts.
All right.
but Hossware, a couple guys from North Carolina. They make great stuff. They've got a lot of cool shirts and hoodies and hats and shorts. They're geared towards more like powerlifting, strongman, Highland game stuff. They've got a power belly shirt that's a hit at competitions when I wear it. They've got a thick shirt. I don't know.
It says thick. It's not thick. It's actually it's a good size material.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a good point.
It's not like a sweater. It's more like a t-shirt.
Yeah. But they have hoodies though, and they're fairly thick hoodies.
They do. They do have thick hoodies. Both like the material's thick and they say thick.
Yeah. So hit those guys up, hossware.com, and use code TIPP with them also.
Yep. But if you can't find the right shirt or you can't find the right hoodie or
Hat.
it's just not, doing it for you over there,
Yeah.
come on over to Etsy, search the Iron Palace podcast and get you some of these sick shirts, dog. Come check it out.
You wanted to finish that sentence, but you realized the microphone was too far away.
I did. I didn't think about it till after, but I was like,
I like that.
I went to pack a podcast shirt for the podcast today, but they were all dirty because I wear them at the gym to try to advertise out there. But they're great shirts. I wear them all the time. That's why I never wear them on the podcast because they're always dirty for me wearing them other times.
They'll add 3% to your bench press.
praise God. And if it don't, prove it.
Yeah.
Buy one, go bench, send us your video.
Yeah.
Show us what your PR is. Wearing the shirt. Prove us wrong. Maybe you'll get a treat.
I like it.
A little treat.
A shirt that says, I proved the Iron Palace wrong, and all I got was this lousy T-shirt.
Exactly that. That's it.
I guess that's all of our ads, isn't it?
I reckon so.
Yeah. What else are we going to talk about?
I don't know. What do we talk about?
Dave?
Do you know what the Athenians did to pretty much win at Marathon that no one had thought of before for the Persian archers? Like, because Persian archers were just like,
I know what they did, but you should tell Holland just in case.
I bet Holland knows.
I'm not really sure.
So, classical warfare, it wasn't as bad as it was in the movies as far as them just standing in a line, but
Yeah.
they still, marched phalanx and stuff like that. Well, the Persian archers, they would send them out first and just mess everybody up, shooting arrows at them as they marched to engage.
Yeah.
So the Athenians was just like, when we get in range, just run at them. So that's what they did. Yeah. They found them in like a kind of a narrow pass. So, the numbers advantage didn't work out for them. And as soon as they got in range, they just dropped everything and started running at them with their swords and slaughtered them.
Yeah.
So much so that they had to retreat. And that's how they ended up winning marathon. Yeah. And another crazy thing.
Well, it was so bad they ran it like they were running out. They were running into the ocean to try to get back to their boats.
Yeah.
And they were hacking them down as they were like running in the
That's
ocean.
even crazier. The whole marathon thing, the guy running to Athens, that's not accurate. He actually ran all the way to Sparta. He ran like 4 times as far to tell Sparta, because Athens was trying to get Sparta's backup to stop Persia because all the Greek were separate city-states. But the hardest part was that the entire army made the marathon run back to Athens. So Persia was like, we got our butts beat, but they're not on boats. We'll just take our boats to Athens while they're here and take the whole city. Well, the Athenian army ran all the way back to Athens and was waiting on the wall with their spears when the Persian ships pulled in, and they just turned around and left. They didn't even land on the beach. So sometimes you just got to run full speed, dog.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you got to head off the Persians.
Yeah, and run at them. And then a couple of years later, you got to fight them again because that guy's son is mad that you embarrassed him that time.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to run full speed at anything, you should run full speed at the subscribe button.
Yes.
Ooh.
Hit the like button right next to it. And then if you hit the bell on the side, you'll know when our new episodes come out.
Yeah.
And this is on YouTube. However, if you go on Spotify, do the same thing. You'll be notified on Spotify. And guess what? All the other platforms do the same thing. So be like the Athenians, sprint your way over there, and don't miss out on the next one.
There's also a really cool button where you can share it with your friends. If you like it, don't be stingy. Tell someone else about it. Appreciate it.
sure.
We freaking need it. Please, for the love of God.
If you like it, they'll love it, and then we'll all be happy.
And even if you don't like it, maybe they will. Maybe they're not a square. All right?
Yeah. Maybe they suck less than you do.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
We need you.
We didn't
stay
mean
for
it.
now.
Maybe
Yeah.
they want to be stronger, and
Yeah, if you've got a strong friend that you think they should be stronger, send it to them.
yeah. If you got a weak friend that you think should be stronger,
It's true.
yeah.
We should start a
So
service.
is
where
that why you've been sending me all of our podcasts?
we start a service where we will gently bully your gym friend if you want us to in any way.
Oh,
We can tell
bet.
them they've cut too much. We can tell them, nice bulk, like whatever you want.
Yeah,
that's,
all the stuff
That's
that-
our version of Cameo. We
All the
will
stuff
bully
they
your
say to me, they'll say to the guy you hate,
friend. 100%.
and then maybe I'll say something too. I probably won't because I don't want to get their aggro. So, but either way, it'd be a fun time. You can hang out with us, or maybe not, or
We'll
like
negotiate price.
yeah, and content. And but back to the main thing: subscribe. Make sure you comment is the main thing, though. We want to hear from you. We don't just want you to hear from us. So,
And if you see anything cool related to fitness or just a cool meme, tag us. Tag the Iron Palace podcast. Engage with the page.
I like it.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
All right, so to close everything out, ladies and gentlemen, the quote of the day is: "There's no reason to be alive."
That's all, folks.
There is no reason to be alive if you can't do deadlifts. Jean Paul Sigmarsson.